One of the recent significant events in the VTuber space was the departure of 3 talents from VShojo, which, while not a collapse, has undoubtedly dealt a pretty big blow to the agency. Now, instead of simply focusing on VShojo's struggles or comparing their approach with agencies like Hololive or any other agency that many other people already have, I'd like to delve into a more intriguing aspect: the difference in IP ownership between agencies and how it impacts their talents. The fact that VShojo allows their talents to retain their IPs while Hololive owns the IPs of their talents creates an interesting dynamic that I think is worth discussing. How different approaches affect the talents and their careers, including the potential consequences when a talent decides to leave an agency, or when a talent breaches their contract. In our VTuber world, IP ownership refers to the ownership of intellectual property related to a VTuber, including their brand, persona, character design, and, well, any content that they produce. In some cases, like the VShojo case, where talents Nyaners, Silvervale, and Vey are able to refuse signing a contract, leave and retain the ownership of their IP, others, well, let's take the closest examples that we know. Coco, Sana, and Rusia are, well, they are gone. Be it graduation or contract breach, the talent is essentially gone from the agency and the virtual world. The situation surrounding Oruha Rusia's contract breach serves as a prime example of the significant consequences that can arise from IP ownership in the VTuber industry. Oruha Rusia was a popular VTuber under the Hololive umbrella, gaining nearly 1.6 million subscribers. Even a year after her termination, she remains at the top of all-time high super chat donation earners. But her once flourishing career took a sharp turn when it was discovered that she had breached her contract with Cover Corp, Hololive's parent company. Cover Corp claimed that Rusia had violated her contract by leaking sensitive information and sharing false information to third parties, causing reputational damage to the company. This led to immediate termination of her contract, effectively ending her career as a Hololive VTuber. The consequences of Rusia's contract breach were, well, they were severe, primarily due to the Hololive's ownership of the IPs. And well, as a result, Rusia's YouTube channel, along with all her videos, were removed from the platform. Hololive essentially deleted her from existence. So not only the person behind Oruha Rusia lose her position within the agency, but also she lost her entire VTuber identity, as it was owned by Hololive. In contrast to the situation surrounding Oruha Rusia, the cases of Silvervale, Vey, and Nyaners show a different approach taken by VShojo. These 3 talents left VShojo to become independent VTubers, and unlike their Hololive counterparts, they were able to retain their IPs and identities. VShojo differs from Hololive in a fundamental aspect. While Hololive creates the VTuber model and IPs for their talents, VShojo hires already established individual VTubers into their agency. This distinction played a significant role when the 3 models decided to part ways with VShojo. Silvervale and Vey left the agency after choosing not to renew their contracts. VShojo respected their decision and confirmed that both talents would keep the rights to their characters. This allowed them to continue their careers as independent creators without having to start over from scratch. Nyaners also explained her decision to leave VShojo during a broadcast, stating that, well, it simply made more sense for her to be independent. Now, let's dive into the pros and cons of each IP ownership model. First up, when the IP is owned by the agency, like Hololive. The pros. The agency enjoys the perks of brand protection and consistency. They can make money from the IP through merch, collabs, and licensing deals. Talents instead can enjoy focusing more on the content creation and engaging with their fans. And the agency has more control over the quality and the direction of the content being produced. The cons. Talents might feel held back creatively in terms of growth. When contracts are breached and terminated, talents lose their VTuber identity. There is a chance for conflicts between talents and agency over the IP control. Disagreements over revenue sharing could also happen, leading talents to leave or avoid signing with an agency altogether, as we saw with Silvervale and Nyaners. Talents may be subject to strict rules and restrictions. Now, let's check out the other approach, where the IP is owned by the talents themselves, the pros. Talents enjoy more creative freedom and can make their own career decisions. They can keep going with the same persona if they leave the agency. The model is attractive to established VTubers who want to maintain control over the IPs. Talents also have a greater autonomy in decision-making for their content direction. The cons. The agency has less control over the brand consistency and monetizing the IP. Talents need to manage the business side and legal side of their IP. If a talent leaves, the agency loses out on revenue and promotional opportunities. Talents may face more challenges in handling their own brand and legal matters. So, there you have it. The pros and cons of each approach to IP ownership in the VTuber industry. As you can see, it's a complex issue with no one-size-fits-all solution. But even after giving this a fair view, I still cannot shake off a feeling of something being wrong. Look, in the case of Oruha Rusia, her existence has been completely deleted from the internet. The channel is closed, all videos are privated, which just fucking sucks, man, I'll be honest with you. Both for me as a viewer and a content creator who takes pride in the work that I do. Now, don't get me wrong, I actually think Hololive and Cover Corp have done and continue doing an amazing job so far. The talents seem to be well taken care of and seem to truly enjoy their time working under the agency. And yeah, the graduated talents that were behind the models are allowed to create different personas that may have even more success. But the thought of an avatar that was once alive and interactive to get shut down and remain dormant like a puppet that lost its puppeteer, it just doesn't stick well with me. I'll rest my case here. What do you guys think? Leave your comments down below. I love reading them as I scroll my YouTube in the mornings and procrastinate instead of actually doing work. And yeah, take care and peace.